Okay. Well, now my guess is, and I sort of have the answer at this point, that this will be the last time we meet with everybody showing up. And with that being said, here's why I'm going to tell you. First of all, I just sent you something. Evidently, I had sent out some old stuff, and some of you followed it to the T, and it wasn't correct, and you had to fix it. And it looks like the fix that individual did was on point. But as I looked at that stuff this afternoon, the new stuff that I just sent you, I'm not sure that was totally correct, but I want you to still look at it and see if it fits what you've done.
It says it's for 604.
Oh, gee, are you serious? That
Yeah.
should be 601.
Yeah, it's 604.
Sorry about that. Okay, well, let me double check because I sent myself a copy. 604. Well, don't do anything with that because I thought I found something that was accurate, but I don't want you to mess with that 604 if that's what it was. And typically I will send myself a copy of the same stuff. Thank you for catching that and bringing it to my attention. If you will go back to your handbook, and maybe you don't have a copy, and maybe I'm reading this out of the clinical coach's handbook. I'm going to look at that again. But from what I can tell, most of you, 3 of you have completed your work. And what one of you caught that I knew about, but I didn't know if you were going to put it as an exemption, was if you had everything turned in on time and you did this, and this, you could ultimately opt out of taking the exam. Be that as it may. What I'm definitely looking for, and I will start this on Monday, I will start going through every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week, 24, 26, and 28, every other day, to see if there have been some changes to your account. What I'm looking for, first of all, is the required, if you haven't noticed, on the assignment page, I put up everything that starts with 601 and then what it's supposed to be. So what I want you to do is either put it in the section that it occurred the first time during the course, or at the end of the program where you're sending out your 4 plus my 1 if you opt out of the exam, which I'm thinking all of you will. I'm looking for the one that says required. I'm looking for a snapshot that shows that you scored a 3 or higher. And according to my records, 3 of you have done that. And when I for sure look at it on Monday, I will individually send you an email that said, you have met the requirements for Male 601. Your attendance is no longer required, and you will receive an A for the course. And that will end it. I will do this every other day for the next 2 weeks, and then that last week before I put up my grades, I'll do it every day. Make a note, and I'm recording this, and I'll send this to you later on. Most of you have put your stuff up for an evaluation, or you're working with your internship supervisor, and you're going to get it up this week or over the weekend. If it's not proficient, the evaluator, as I've told you before, will send it back, and you and your clinical coach will adjust it to fit what needs to be done. Now, as soon as you get it put up for work in an evaluation and it gets back to you, and it's supposed to be within 3 days, that's the handbook for the clinical coach. You need to tweak it as fast as you can with your clinical coach and get it back to that evaluator.
I have a question.
Where are we?
Nadesh.
Yes.
Well, I've put my work 2, almost 3 weeks ago, and I emailed my clinical coach and I've not heard anything from him.
You send the clinical coach a second email, and you send a copy of that email to Gerald Neal.
Send it to who? I'm sorry.
To send it to Dr. Gerald Neal.
Okay.
You know, the time for playing, we're through with that. That was in January, February. It's crunch time. And did you send it for an evaluation, or what did you do, Nadej?
I went to Blackboard where he said to put the stuff, and I sent it to him, all 5 of them, everything together even with the checklist thing, and I still have not gotten anything from him.
You said it's been how long?
It's at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
At least. I sent it to you. You already say good work, continue. That was the same time I sent it to him.
Yes. If he doesn't, I'd say you go ahead and send it tonight or tomorrow, just checking to see if you got be politically correct, just checking to see if you got my work. I need a response so I can submit it for an evaluation. Is it ready? And carbon copy Dr. Neal.
Okay.
Okay. You know, it's not time to be just letting stuff sit in the wind and spinning in outer space. Okay. So you send it out. It gets evaluated, hopefully with a 3 or a 4. If it doesn't, you're supposed to get to it in 3 days, the evaluator. And then you need to get it by the 14th week, which is about May the 4th. Do not wait until May the 4th. As soon as you get it back with the constructive, detailed criticism, make the changes, show it to your clinical coach, and get it back to the evaluator. Now, the reason I'm pushing you for this is basically one thing. I have to issue a grade on Saturday morning, May the 13th at 8 o'clock. Now, if I don't have a snapshot of that 3 or a 4, I have to consider issuing you an incomplete. Now, you do not, let me start that sentence again. You do not want me to have to go through the trouble for both of us to issue a contract telling me you're going to do how, what, when, and where to remove that incomplete. If you're almost through and there's some minor changes, I can bend on that. But if it's a serious issue of what you've done or what you haven't done, the university requires us to do that. They want to stop you before you get to 602. We used not to do this. It ran amok till you got to 605. And then depending on what semester you had 605, you had to go back and do a bunch of work to catch up and clean all this mess up. And it wasn't good for the clinical coach or the student. So do what you can do, but know full well May the 13th, which is a Saturday at 8 o'clock, I have to submit my grades or I get a nasty email. So what questions have you got at this point? And without calling and asking this and that and whatever, is everybody moving in the direction of getting their work up, or you've gotten your work up and it's been whatever? But I know 3 of you have had your work graded and you're basically through after tonight. Questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Kim.
Not me.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, now, okay, go ahead, Catherine.
What happens if you submit it, or I put it my APSL up for evaluation, and it's only been 3 days. This is the 3rd day, but how long should I wait before I?
If the earth doesn't move by Saturday, that's Friday. That would be 5 days. You need to send your clinical coach. Hold up. Sarah Whitaker, you need to send her an email.
Okay.
I've submitted my work for an evaluation. It's been almost 5 days. Please advise, something like that.
Okay.
I mean, in the handbook, it specifically states the turnaround time is supposed to be 3 days. I'm not making these days up, and, you know, there has to be some kind of control and organization. But if you send something out, that May 13th deadline for me is not going to waver. it's pretty much etched in stone with all the grades being turned in. So those people got to pick it up. Today is the what? Today's Earth Day, April the 20th, isn't it? So the clock's ticking. Send Sarah an email, I'd say by Saturday, that will be 5 days, and said, Dr. Quicker, I've put this up. I haven't heard from you or my evaluator. Can you advise or tell me what to do?
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
Catherine, if I'm not mistaken, did I miss something? No, you're not the one. No, if you no, but I thought you were one of those three. Go ahead and you need to squeeze that one and see what happens.
Okay.
Because if there's some major revisions, they need to look at it, tell you what it needs to be done or whatever, and then get it back to you during this next 2 weeks. It's pretty critical during the next 2 weeks. Next week and the week after, the clock's ticking.
Okay. Thank you.
What else you got? Now, I am doing some individual conversations, either by phone call or Zooming. If something comes up, send me an email, give me a day, and I'll respond back as to we can meet whatever night, and you ask some questions. If your work has been sent back, and there was one, and there was some major change in that, and I really felt for the most part that was my fault by giving you the old rubric. That's why I asked to see, because I was comparing your original work to the new work, and I wanted to see where I went wrong and how the rubric had changed. And I appreciate and thank you for that. But this is not time. That's why I'm going to do this every other day for the next 2 weeks. And during that last week, I'm going to check it every morning. And then as soon as I see that snapshot of you with a 3 or a 4, then you get the goodbye email and we're through. Questions?
Do we send that to you through email, the snapshot?
No, you need to post it on the assignments page. William, you will see a bunch of 601s, 601, 601, all those options where you were to pick 4, and the one that's required. That's where I need you to place that snapshot showing me some 3 of you have actually sent me snapshots of the things that you're required to finish plus your final grade on your paper. That's where I need you to place that document. That lets the university know in case someone wants to look over my shoulder. You issued this student an A, but they didn't do this. Well, based on what I can see on Blackboard, here's what they did, and here's the snapshot that proves it. That's what I need. Yeah. No email, just up on the assignments page. Anything that starts with 601 and there's only one of them that says required, that's where you put your grade. Make sense? Okay. What else?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Okay. I think I've got, I'm at TaskStream. This may be a clinical coach question. I'm not sure. Anyway, I've got the APSL locked in and the School of Ed dispositions locked in.
Right.
There's also this thing that says competency analysis, and I took all of my competencies and switched those over in, I think I could put them in as an attachment from the folios and web pages.
Right.
And I'm not sure what to do with that after that. Because there are places, it asks, whenever I continue working there, it asks if, it asks if I have met or not met all those competencies. What should I do there?
You need to put that you've met, and this is really a task stream question, but you should check that you met them and tell what you did to prove that you met them.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that does go to task stream.
Okay, and that is all. I do that on all of those competencies, even the ones that we didn't address?
No, just the ones that you did address, the 8 that the university picked and the 4 that you picked.
Okay.
Right? They don't care about the rest of them right now, but you'll come back to those later on.
Okay.
Just the 8 that they picked and the 4 that you picked. I got that right. They're 8, you're 4.
Right.
Dr. Bowen?
Yes, DeWalt.
Yes. I'm just following up with what Melissa is saying over there. I'm thinking I'm in a similar situation. So I uploaded my evidence on the folio part, and then on the task stream, the analysis, I did the same thing. I did the 12, the 8 that the university says, and the other 4 that I did.
Right.
When I wanted to submit it, it says that there are some parts that I have not completed. Everything with a little red asterisk on it. So, do we need to then go ahead and just check on everything, because it won't let me submit it if it's if I don't have everything checked.
Okay, so you checked the university's pick for 8 and your 4, and
Yes.
it got kicked back.
It got kicked
On
back
that-
saying that.
On that particular thing, it tells you what you're required for from 601. So they all have to be answered as not or not met for that. It's level 1
Okay.
in those. And then when you submit it, it'll show you that it's met requirements.
So, Kim, what I didn't figure out was if you pick the university's 8 and you've met those 12, but you still need to collect not met the other 10, I believe they're 22 or 24. Is that correct?
Right, it's the full thing, but it lists for each one of them
Okay.
what you should have done through 601.
Okay.
There's a little note on there that tells you which level you should be at when you finish 601.
Okay.
And then you click met or not met.
Okay. But you need to have a check on one side of that column or the other.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
All right. Great answer and great question. Does it pop up DeWald, when you put up your 12 and it got kicked back, did it say that or show you with these little red dots, I believe you mentioned, where something needs to be placed?
Well, yeah, it has it has these little red asterisks next to all of them,
Mhm.
and so
Okay.
that's where.
Okay.
That's where it stated that I needed to.
So you will address the 12 and then you will put a check in the not for the other 10. I think they're 12. Is there 22 or 24? Anybody know right offhand?
I think it's 21.
There's an extra
What?
10.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Let me ask something else, Dr. Bone.
Yes.
There was something else. One of the competencies that I chose was knowledge of assessments.
Okay.
Uh,
Did you address that in your?
but in the folio, and I don't know, I may have missed something. I didn't see that option there.
Well, let me ask.
Yes.
Did you address that in your paper in the APSL?
Yes, I did. And so I went ahead and changed it. I got something else, but I'm just kind of wondering where that one is. Because there's a knowledge of curriculum and then there's a knowledge of assessment. And I didn't necessarily see the knowledge of assessment.
Okay. That you may need to go back to the clinical coach on that, DeWalt.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Starting Monday. I will start in the morning. I will go through everybody in class. I will go to your the grade center. I will go from left to right to see if you placed it during the original week or you did it in the follow-up week. And I'm looking for the one that says required. If you have a 3 or a 4, then I will go backwards and make sure you did a couple of those others, the options that you chose, and then I will stop and send you an email. Obviously, if you get an email on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday next week or the week after, that means you and I are finished for this semester, and you can expect an A when I submit my grades on May the 13th. And then you'll move on to 602. Any questions between now and the 13th, whether we talk over the phone or Zoom, do not hesitate. I've actually learned something tonight about that you do have to check. Again, I'm fighting that battle that I can't see task stream, but I can visualize now that there are 21 or 22. I still thought it was 22. That you got to check either yes or no, and not just leave it unanswered. I knew you had to check the 12, but I didn't know about the other 11 or 10 or something like that. Okay.
And Dr. Bowen, sorry, just to go back to that 21, 22 thing.
Yeah.
I think that knowledge of assessment that's missing on the folio is what causes that to be 21, and on the competency analysis, it's 22.
Well, that's odd, isn't it? Wouldn't you think they would both have the same and the number?
Well, that's why, because I originally put it in the wrong place, and I have to go move some stuff around. But
right.
That's how I kind of came to the point, the understanding that hey, it's not fair. It's not a choice for me in the folio.
DeWalt, if you would, you're comparing which two platforms? The competency what?
Competency analysis and the competency folio.
All right, and which one has this thing that you originally?
Okay, the analysis has the knowledge of assessment. The competency folio does not.
Okay, does not. Okay, that's a good question for me to send to Dr. Neal.
The knowledge of assessment. The competency folio does not. Okay,
so the competency folio has 21, and the analysis should have. Are you telling me 22? Is that correct? Or is it 20?
Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I just remember not seeing that option. So that's why I'm thinking the 21 and the 22 is coming from.
Okay, good question. I'll follow that up with him because I was thinking they had 22 and they both will be in both. But
22 is coming from.
Okay. Anything else? All right. If you put your work up, and I'm assuming you put your work up where you and the clinical coach have made some kind of agreement that it looks good, you've met the rubric, you're going to submit it, and you should expect something one way or the other in 3 days. And then if you do not err on the side of just waiting for somebody else, because the next 2 weeks are the critical 2 weeks. You need to press the buttons to see if your clinical coach, and the clinical coach does know who your evaluator is. Don't make sure you know that one. I don't, they do. Make sure that if you haven't gotten something back within 3 days, as described in the policy in the program booklet, you need to find out why and what's the hold up. The 2 weeks are ticking. Okay? Can't stress that more than that. Very important. Okay, guys, unless I'll see some of you, I will see some of you next Thursday. And for 3 of you, unless my work is incorrect, you'll get an email sometime Monday morning saying at least 3 of you that you have completed that process and enjoy the rest of your summer before summer school starts around the 3rd week in May. Keep that in mind. Summer school, the summer semester, it's not summer school. The summer semester only lasts 10 weeks. You want me to repeat that sentence? Last 10 weeks. It doesn't last 15. Don't know what you got planned and where you're doing and what you're doing and whatever. But that session is only 10 weeks. And you will cover an entire course in 602. So the tempo will be a little faster. And you just need to be prepared. It's a short summer. Who knows? Some of you may get your school schedule realigned. If you're part of that pilot study, I think there are 10 LEAs that are being looked at to have an earlier school year so that you can finish exams if you're at the high school level before they go home for the winter holidays. You may be part of that. So if you got the summer session going on, and you're going to start school earlier, you need to start thinking, planning, and doing this and doing that. The clock's going to be ticking. Okay. Unless I hear from any individual, I'll be back Thursday. If you need to talk one-on-one, let me know and I'll send you that. Kim, I'm going to follow up and see if I really sent you that stupid stuff from 604.
Okay.
And I will send a group email. If I did do that, I will send you another email saying, put that in your trash folder on your computer.
That's what I got too, the 604.
604.
I kept looking around. I was cleaning up my desktop. I said, it said new on it. That's what sort of flipped me out. I said, they need that. And then now you tell me I sent you a 604. Disregard that totally if that's what it is. But I'm going to send you an email to confirm that. Okay. Thanks again for catching that. And I'll see y'all Thursday. All right. All right. Bye now.
Bye.